Good evening, Leroy. How are you?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Oh, it's just another day in paradise, right? Isn't that what they say? No
My
place you'd, no place you'd rather be on a Wednesday night, though, right?
well, that is true. Now my buddy goes on vacation tomorrow for the first time. Our work has real stringent restrictions about when you can and cannot take vacations. So you have to be here for a year before you can take a vacation, which means that not many people get vacations. Uh, but we have our vacation, or he's got his vacation tomorrow and Friday. So on top of all of that, for whatever reason, this is also the weekend for heavy remotes. So covering grand openings and all kinds of other stupid stuff that I just, between you and me, do not care about. And if I hear my boss say one more time, that's what pays the bills, I'm just going to scream into a pillow.
You know what? You know what you have to say, though, right?
What?
That's what pays the bills. That's what pays the bills. I remember, so our news director, when he takes a vacation, I'm the news director for the week. And it's hilarious.
You hate that, though, don't you? Don't you hate it when he's gone?
Yeah. Yes, because I have to do two full-time jobs then. So it's a ton of work. But we do have football tomorrow. That's not something we mentioned, but we do have to talk about that because you actually can kind of care about it. We'll talk about that a little bit later on.
Yeah.
But the past couple of times he's gone on vacation, there have been huge stories that have happened. So, like last time he went on vacation, there was and I'm talking like, in small towns, it's like every summer there has to be one big controversy.
Yes. Ours is the Park District and Redland Little League. Yeah.
So last year it was farmers market here.
Okay.
And long story short, they were talking about building a farmers market location. And they bought it, and apparently the city told the county, yeah, we'll help you. And so the county went to the city council meeting and said, okay, let's set this up. And the city was like, new phone, who dis? And so the county was ticked. So they had this little fight. And this was this entire week that I'm doing it. And I didn't really know anything prior to that because I'm not intertwined in city government. I do the county stuff. So I'm having to figure all this out on the fly, and it was a blast.
That's the part that kills me is I don't normally cover park board meetings. Our new guy covers them, but I've had to cover it for the last two times. And honestly, I'm so glad I did because my new guy would not have been able to cover the story like I would have. And I hate going to meetings where I'm like, wait. It's horrible when you drive up to a meeting that you expect to be short and you see 40 people inside. You're like, why are there so many people here? Mm-hmm. What did I miss what did I miss that's going on tonight? Mm-hmm. Oh gosh.
Oh, we get that at our county government. It's like, so those are luckily just once a month, but once every 4 or 5 months, somebody's mad.
Yeah.
And the best part about that is that's usually when the meeting is the most entertaining.
Yeah, but they brought 50 of their friends who all want to say the same thing in public comments.
Yes, and it is so much fun.
I can hug you through the phone, Sam.
we have similar but different jobs, but yet we deal with the same things in our own different ways. On the show today, Olympics. Talk a little bit about that. Katie Ledecky. Wow. We'll talk about that. Like John said, U.S. women's rugby team. That moment, we'll talk about that. I mean, there's a lot for us to dive into as far as Olympics. Trade deadline happened. Some NFL
we have a local girl that's on that rugby team.
Real, I saw that. You shared it. Did you share it?
I might have.
I saw it somehow. So that's coming up on the show. Tidbits, Who Am I, logos, play clock, and so on as well. But Leroy, I want to start it off here. I have to tell about an experience I had.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go.
It is. Oh, and Paul pops in here at the perfect time. Yeah. What does he say? Billy Joe's yards has too many junk cars in it. Someone has a 24. You say, yep, absolutely, Paul.
Go mow your lawn. Can you tell the next door neighbor to go mow his lawn? He won't cut his grass.
Leroy, something big happened in this area. I guess it's been, I don't know. It's been at least a month ago, if not a little bit longer.
Yep.
in this area, and you might know where I'm headed for this, in Smiths Grove, Kentucky.
Oh,
which is 50 minutes away from me.
Smiths Grove is, listen, for those of you who don't know, Smiths Grove is the armpit of Kentucky. So it's smack dab. No, hold on. It's smack dab between Fort Campbell and Hopkinsville.
No, it's not.
Oh, wait, what am I thinking of? Where's Smiths Grove at?
Smiths Grove is just north of Bowling Green.
Oh, I'm thinking of the wrong place. Go ahead.
Paul said, bear with me, guys. Had to go home today with a migraine headache, and I still kind of have one. Good vibes your way, Paul. No, Smiths Grove is the next exit up from Bowling Green on 65 headed towards Louisville.
I'm thinking of Oak Grove. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, Oak Grove. Yes, that's what you're thinking. I mean, you could theoretically drive in between Fort Campbell. You just have to be going really well. But as Chase says, it has a Buc-ee's.
Okay.
So last weekend, I had nothing to do on a Saturday night. It was a nice evening, and I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's experience the Buc-ee's for the first time. Because I've heard everybody talk about it. And I don't know, have you been to a Buc-ee's yet?
I have not.
You have heard about the Buc-ee's, though, right?
Yes. The legends are legendary.
What have you heard about the Buc-ee's?
It's massive. You come for energy drink and you leave with $80 worth of stuff. It's got 400 gas stations, and it's one of the most massive gas stations in the world. It
looks like, in movies of, like a Walmart gas station is kind of a good way to describe it. And I've never been to the border, but you know how they have it to where there's just so many cars and they're all filing in to the lines to go through. When I pulled up, that's what it looked like. It looked like everybody was going through the border as far as getting into the gas pumps. I needed gas, so I topped off, got gas. Prices were decent. And then I said, you know what? We got to go inside. I walked inside, and my
big mistake.
Freaking goodness. There were people, and this was about 7 o'clock on a Saturday night. There were people everywhere. No, I don't think they were everywhere. It literally looked like, when you're in the concourse of a sporting event.
Yeah.
And you know how a big game where there's literally just people everywhere. And that's how it was when I walked in. And I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of having a lot of people there. So I walked in and I said, you know what, we're going to do it. And I kind of browsed through, they're known for their beef jerky. I took a look at that. And what I really wanted was, I was like, okay, I need a hat. Buc-ee's hat.
Yeah. Yep.
Could not find one. So I settled on at least to commemorate my trip there. But I heard everyone tell me is that they're known for their brisket sandwich. Now, I don't know about you, but I like brisket.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite cuts of meat. So I asked somebody, I said, hey, is this good brisket or is this good gas station brisket? And I had somebody that I trusted said it was good brisket. So I went, my expectations.
You're expecting good brisket from a gas station?
And it wasn't bad.
Okay.
But it didn't hit the level that I was like, I had high expectations. The most interesting part about the whole Buc-ee's experience, though, at least to me, is that get your gallbladder removed and see how much you like brisket. Yeah, no thanks. I'll pass on that. Is the fountain drinks.
Don't ever get old, son.
They don't have Coke on their fountain drinks.
Okay.
They have Buc-ee's Cola, Buc-ee's Vanilla Cola, Buc-ee's Cherry Cola, Buc-ee's Diet. Like, it's all Buc-ee's, which I just found to be the most interesting thing. But it's just wild to me the amount of things
taste like Coke or Pepsi? That's the question.
To me, so I got a Vanilla Cola, I think is what they had.
Okay.
Frankly, just because that was literally, there were so many people at the fountains that one little sliver opened up, and it was that or like, I don't even remember what it was, but it was not something that I would ever consider putting into a cup. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's something like that. And so I was like, you know what? And I tried it, and it tasted like a Kroger brand vanilla Coke, which is fine. Like, it wasn't bad by any stretch. But I got that, and it was just was it better than a normal brand? I don't know. I feel like I'd have to do a blind taste test with it, but it was just the sheer amount of people in this gas station. And the next time that you get the opportunity, I don't know that I'll go back. I don't know that I won't go back, but it was one of those things that was like, you know what? I can now say, and look, there's my commemoration.
It's funny though, because other gas stations, like smaller branded gas stations, are trying to adopt the Buc-ee's model. So you're starting to see a whole lot more. You don't need to go to Walmart. You don't need to go to Kroger. You can get all your stuff when you get gas right here. And we have a station. We have a really small podunk town near us called Pana. And Pana has nothing really in it other than like a massive gas station that's right in the middle of town. That's like a Buc-ee's knockoff. It looks like what you would expect like value brand Buc-ee's to look like. And it's pretty funny.
And see, they have so much. They have like tacos. They make their own.
Yeah.
There,
that's insane.
Have fudge. They have jerky, and they do, Paul. I mean, they were hiring for managers. They it was like $200K a year, and I was like,
"Oh, Sam, we're in the wrong line of work, my friend."
Yeah, I mean, I think literally like their janitors make like 75. Not really, but it's still, it was one of those things that, and see, John, the issue is that there's so many spots to pump your gas that it's not necessarily a problem. But I went and I parked, and went in, but I did it. I don't know that I won't go back, but I feel like I won't go back by myself. Like, I feel like I need somebody to.
No, you need an adult.
yeah. I don't know if it's an adult or I need a buddy or something, because you might get lost.
Sam needs an adult, Paul.
Well, that, and I had to go to the restroom. And the wildest part is I've heard that their bathrooms are really nice. So it's like, you know what? We're going to go in the stall. We're going to do it. Just because, you know what? We got to experience this. I have never seen. They had 2 pumps in there. They had hand sanitizer, which was nice.
Okay.
But then they also had disinfectant to clean the toilet seat. I had never seen that. I had never seen disinfectant.
Sam's life has been changed, man.
So look, there's my commemoration. I've been to the Buc-ee's. It was it life-changing? I don't know. But the brisket left a little bit to be desired. Now, I did get some like roasted nuts that they have, like with the candied nuts. You know what I'm talking about? That they'll do that, and those were those I very much did.
We rave about our Casey's breakfast pizza, but you guys have massive Buc-ee's gas stations that you get lost in. So, Paul,
if it was a little bit closer, I'd strongly consider it. I would strongly consider quitting and becoming a Buc-ee's. Yes,
he'll just sit there and broadcast people getting gas as he moves into turn pump 6. And he's having some trouble getting that pump into the.
The thing is my anxiety kind of kicked up a notch. Where there were a couple points where I was like, I
wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, and see, because my boss, we'd had this conversation. We're kind of similar, me and him, as far as we don't necessarily like being in the big crowds. Like there are moments where we can do it, but that where there was no like order. It was just, people are going here, there, everywhere. They have shopping carts. So, you got the people with the shopping carts, and then there's children running around because they have to get their stuffed Buc-ee. It was an experience, and I felt like I needed to get it off my chest.
You need to get a shirt. I went to Buc-ee's and all I got was this stupid shirt.
Well, see, I wanted a hat.
I know.
Because I looked, they had like a quarter zip that was really nice quality for like $30. And I was like, that's cheap. And this, like, how much you think? So it's a
15.
30 ounce. How much did you say?
15.
Okay, 11. And it's doing. Oh, that's right. I forgot about John. Yeah, because in New Jersey they don't know how to pump their own gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would never work. It would never work there.
That's so bizarre to me too.
Them in Oregon, I think of the two.
Oregon, I don't know if they still do, but Jersey definitely does. which is crazy to me.
Paul, it was
John and I have had plenty of conversations about the fact that they don't pump gas in New Jersey, which I just find so bizarre.
Well, we have one place here in town that you can't pump it yourself. They have to do it.
Okay.
And I've never been there because I'm like,
you too nervous to go?
No, I'm like, I'm an adult. Like, I can do this myself. And it's funny because the person who I took the job from, I was training under her. And it's funny because that was the only one she would go to, because she had gotten so used to having somebody pump her own gas that I'm not sure it was that she didn't know how to do it, but it was more of just, why would I do it when I can have somebody else do it? It's illegal to pump her own gas. It's just wild.
So stupid.
You know what else
Wild.
should be? You know what else should be illegal? Katie Ledecky.
Woo!
Did you watch the race today?
I did not. I did not watch the race. I know what happened,
end of it,
but
where she finishes in the 1500 freestyle, I believe is what it was. She finishes, and I'm pretty sure she went to the concession. She went to the Buc-ee's, got herself a brisket sandwich, ate it,
back.
jump in the pool, and the silver not finished yet. It was just destroying. It was wild. And she has now had, in that event, the top 20 times in world history are all her.
It's insane when you really think about it. When you really start breaking down those numbers, it's insane what she has accomplished in just a short time. And she's not done yet. She was already talking about the 2028 Olympics.
I mean, because it was the 1500 meter freestyle, I believe is what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just thinking, so I'm trying to find her time. And I'm curious, if you right now went into the pool. Okay, so she's 27, so she's my age.
Okay.
So we'll even say when you were 27.
All right.
She did it in 15 and a half minutes. How long would it take you? Or if you did it right now to swim. So this is pretty much around a track. Like,
how many laps?
At this. So it's 100 there and back. So I guess it's 15. So it's 100 there and back. So it would be 15 there and back.
15 times?
Yes.
An Olympic-sized swim pool 15 times?
So that's, I mean, you got to think about it. It's 1,500 meters, so it's roughly around a track. So it's roughly around a football field. You know, it's a little bit shorter than that.
Hour and a half.
I think you could walk it faster than that. Well, no, you'd probably drown. You can't put your feet on the ground. Yeah, I think Paul's probably right. You'd probably have a heart attack halfway through. Your body would be like, what are you doing?
Mid-back. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah. Your body would be like, what are you? It's like the scene from Family Guy where Peter is doing he plays the fantasy camp with the Red Sox. And he lines a hit and starts to run, and it cuts to him, and his body's like, what are you doing? I think he's trying to run. Oh, muscle failure.
They need to have a normal person do these events with these people. Just have lane 9 be the civilian lane 9.
I cannot imagine. I don't know. What is that above Leroy's head?
It's a snowflake that my daughter made when she was in like 5th grade. And I can't, in good conscience, throw it away because my daughter made it.
Does it, if you turn the fan on, does it spin around?
It does. And I can't have the fan on. I have to take it off when I have the fan on because otherwise it gets all caught up and it's a whole mess.
It's a mess. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
How much of the Olympics have you watched?
Not much. About an hour, maybe 2. I watched rugby and I watched I watched the women's triathlon. They swam in the Seine.
Was that today?
No, yesterday. No, it was this morning.
Today.
This morning. Yeah.
Because they had to postpone it 2 days because wasn't there like E. coli in the river?
There was heavy pollution in there, and the basically, long story short, the swimmers were like, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not going in there. So they had to bring in like some like ecology team to like go in there and like clean the water, but like they only cleaned it to a certain point. So like they put like these big like stop gaps at the end to like keep the stuff from coming down to where they were swimming at.
But see, like, and that's what and we were talking about this on our show, is how much, like, if you trained your entire life for that moment, at what point would you just say, screw it? Do you get what I'm saying?
I don't know if you would though.
But like you got to think, like, you've worked 25 years for this moment.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do you just say, if I get sick, I get sick?
I don't know, man. Think about if you got to broadcast for the Reds, like, you know, they had that opportunity. You've been training your whole life for this moment.
And it's said that I could get malaria if I broadcast for the Reds.
Yeah.
You know, probably going to do it.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
I definitely will.
But so I just find it very interesting. What I have very much enjoyed, though, is, I don't know, are you a Peacock subscriber?
I am, because all IndyCar, almost all the stuff that I watch is on Peacock.
So they have Gold Zone, which I don't know if you have watched any of.
I have. It's a lot like Red Zone.
Yes, because the guy from Red Zone is one of the hosts of it, is Scott Hansen. Yeah. And I very much enjoyed that. And if you're not a Peacock subscriber, I think it's like $6 a month or something.
They raised it from 5 to 7, and everyone threw a fit.
Okay, yeah, and so, but I've loved Gold Zone because I'm not necessarily like honestly, I forgot that the men's basketball team is playing today. I was in a meeting that lasted way too long, anyways. I know you know what that's like. And so because of that, I got home later and wouldn't have been able to watch it anyways. But I like moving around and having it watch all of the different events. And that's how I saw yesterday the U.S. Oh, she got flagged for loving our post a lot. Well, dang.
Oh, good job, Facebook.
But that's how I saw the rugby team. And that was awesome yesterday.
Yeah. That listen. Those athletes are incredible. Let's just put it that way. Those athletes are insanely talented and insanely incredible. And I wish rugby was more popular in America, because it's an actual fantastic sport. It really, really is. Rugby's a lot of fun. If you like soccer and you like football, it's perfect. It's the perfect combination of it. It's wonderful. And if you haven't had a chance to watch rugby, you definitely need to, because it's an amazing sport. Some guy from South Korea also like medaled in shooting and didn't wear any like equipment. He just went out there with a pistol and was like, and hit like all the targets.
How long would you last in a rugby match?
2 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
Those guys, I'm telling you, not even close to.
I might be able to run around enough to maybe make it a little bit, but it's not like I'm hitting anybody.
We used to play a version of it in the Army, and I'm telling you, they had to stop it because too many people were getting hurt.
Oh, I bet.
Because they didn't know how to properly tackle. Like, at least in real rugby, they know how to properly tackle.
So my uncle is South African, and John, I'm not putting that on the screen. No. Did you see John's you can't see John's comment?
I absolutely can.
Okay. We're gonna get in trouble.
I'm hiding it. I'm hiding it. You're gonna get me in trouble, man. I love you, John, but I'm hiding that comment, man. You're gonna get us in trouble.
And now I've completely lost my train. Oh, my uncle. So he's South African, and rugby in South Africa is a huge deal. He swears that the NFL should get rid of pads and helmets, and it would fix most of their injury problems. Because he thinks that because they have the pads, they have less regard for their own body, whereas rugby players have a regard for their own body.
Yeah. Because guess what? You're hitting somebody, you got to protect yourself too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And don't get it twisted. Those guys are still hitting heavy. but they know how to properly do it where they're not really going to get hurt for the most part.
And they'll truck you too, like the American girl did or lady did.
Can you imagine Can you imagine looking up and seeing her running right at you? Oh my goodness! Like that had to have been the most terrifying, 8.8 seconds of her life.
Oh, without question. It was at this moment. This is when I realized that I screw up. John asks who leads the gold and medal counts. Overall medals is the U.S. Golds is China with 9. But
which do you care more about? Which do you care more about, golds or medals in general?
To be honest, is I just want to enjoy watching it, and I love it. Like it is. I like, especially in the smaller sports, like fencing. I was watching that.
See, I told you, it's wonderful.
Well, it was Gold Zone. Came on. It was on Sunday.
I love fencing.
Can you imagine winning a gold medal?
No.
And then getting on the podium and hearing your national anthem played, that has to be. Is that the coolest thing in sports?
That's one of them. They're right up there. I tell you what, I finished 8th in a cross country match, and I was happy as could be. 8th out of 25 people, I finished 8th, and I was happy as could be. No, and
there were only 7 people running.
Didn't win anything. Didn't get any recognition. I know how happy I felt. I can't imagine all that hard work and training that goes into it, and hearing your national anthem and seeing your flag, especially from some of these countries where they only have 1 or 2 people that are representing. You are representing your entire country, and those guys are treated like kings and queens when they get back. It's really something. Those small countries absolutely treat their Olympians like heroes.
Well, I also found it interesting. I saw the picture video of the North Korean and South Korean ping pong teams taking a selfie together.
Yes. How awesome.
I saw somebody comment saying, "Uh-oh, Kim's not going to like that."
Yeah, no, they're all dead when they get back, but it was well worth it.
Yes. I haven't seen any of the smaller sports, and luckily tomorrow I don't have a lot going on. Because I've been busy these last couple of days and just haven't been able to keep it on in the background and watch some. But I'm hoping to at least have it on to where if something interesting happens, I can do it. And throughout the weekend, if I have time, I'll definitely do that as well. But I do find it interesting, nonetheless. Trade deadline happened, and I believe
I have
only
a list.
Only one team did not make a deal, I believe. And I don't know if they made a deal at the last second.
I have the winners and losers from USA Today did a winners losers sheet for the trade deadline, and I've got some interesting tidbits Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, as a whole, was this kind of a weak trade deadline, or was that just me?
Very.
Okay, Chase.
Very.
Okay, the Twins did make one trade. Okay, so the Twins were the team that they were the last team to make a deal.
They said it was a beautiful market for sellers, with 16 teams acquiring 29 relievers and 10 teams getting 14 starters. A painful time for buyers. In the end, there were 19 buyers, 11 sellers, and a few teams doing a two-step, doing both. And we talked about this last week. I said, expect more teams to be buyers because of that second wild card spot. A lot of teams see themselves as still being in it and as still being a factor because of that stupid second wild card spot.
3 wild card spots.
3. That extra wild card spot means a lot of teams are like, oh, we're only 3 games out, we're right there. Or we're only 7 games out, we're right there. Just struck me as bizarre, but they have their winners.
Paul, you say Baltimore lost, but they got to pick up Reds legend Austin Slater for cash considerations.
USA Today has the Orioles as winners of the trade deadline.
To me, I loved the Phillies getting the closer from the Angels.
Yeah.
That was a really big pickup that I'd seen. And then, Paul brought it up. Cardinals. Cardinals, they get Tommy Pham back.
Who cares?
He had a big game yesterday, I know. Carlos Estevez. It's Emilio's brother.
All the people that got traded have been hitting home runs like crazy. Morel has hit 2 home runs down in Tampa as well. All the players that have been traded have hit huge home runs.
And see, the Reds, they traded Frankie Montas for Joey Wiemer and a guy out of the bullpen as well. And then they traded Lucas Sims for some 19-year-old kid. But to me, though, this year's trade deadline, and then we can go into your winners and losers. It didn't live up to the hype, because I don't think we had a single what I would classify as a blockbuster.
No, there was not a single trade that made everybody go, "Oh my gosh, wow!" Yeah. Not a single one. I mean, I know Cubs fans got a little bit excited about the Paredes Morel trade, but again, like, that's really not that big of a. I wasn't really wowed by it,
Who are the winners and losers?
So, according to USA Today, and again, I want to preface this by saying I didn't completely agree with this list, but I'm going to read their list for you because it was one of the top ones that I found. Winners include Padres, Phillies, Rays, Marlins, Dodgers, Orioles, Mariners, Blue Jays, and Royals. I don't know why there's so many on there, but that was how many they had for their winners. As far as their losers, and this list I actually agree with: White Sox, Twins, Yankees, Giants, and Astros. White Sox, this whole Garrett Crochet issue has been a big thorn in the White Sox side. Although I will say, if you did not see their celebration that they had in the bullpen when who did they send? They sent to the Dodgers. Yeah, I thought that was one of the coolest trade goodbye ceremonies that I've ever seen in my life.
Beer.
Yes. Like, how awesome is that? Or even the fans were like,
"Oh yeah, oh yeah."
But when you're sitting on 2 big pieces and you're on pace to lose a record amount of games, you get rid of all of them. You get rid of all, and really, Griffel should be fired. Their manager should be fired as well. Just cut the cord now. He's not going to be there next year. Like, the White Sox are just an absolute disaster. 17 straight losses right now, Sam. 17 straight losses. They haven't won. They haven't won since before the All-Star game.
What the hell's the manager going to do?
Nothing. But that's not the point. I don't want him in there answering all kinds of questions over these last 2 months. He's a lame duck anyway.
Are you going to miss Mark Leiter Jr.?
I am not going to miss a single pitcher that we got rid of, other than, and I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong because I haven't been able to watch the Cubs game this year, but Bigge, he was a decent pitcher for him. I'm not going to miss any of those other guys.
As Chase brought up, the Jazz Chisholm trade to the Yankees is interesting to me. To me, Jazz Chisholm, isn't he just a smidge overrated?
Yeah. I didn't agree with him. I didn't even agree with him being on the cover of MLB The Show last year. He's not a. When I think of the Marlins, I don't know what I think of, but it's not Jazz Chisholm. I don't know what to expect from him. I tell you what, I don't know what he's done. Can anybody tell me what he's done that's been game changing?
He was an All-Star in 2022,
and
he. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand like the love around him.
It's weird though, isn't it weird, Sam? How certain players who are just a little above average become like big, like names, and you can't figure out like why. There's a few baseball players out there that you're just like, what is your like? For instance, in Chicago, David Bodie. No idea why everyone loves Bodie. He's the worst. Everybody loves him because he had two really good games.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel.
No, but
what if he is watching right now, David Bodie? He's probably crying.
A, he doesn't know I exist. B, I'm not the worst thing that he's heard. It'll be okay. And 3,
I'm waiting for him to pop up in the comment section over here.
The man got paid like a ton of more money. He can take a little bit of a hurtful comment once or twice. Don't you have a player on the Reds? You're just like, why is everybody so in love with him?
So, Reds fans are the opposite. They just hate everybody. They hate everybody. Except
what was the score today?
What was the score the last 2 nights?
No, that's not what I asked you. I asked what the score was tonight.
2 nights, 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
I'm sorry, what?
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 was what the Reds took from the Cubs. We had to let you get 1. I mean, Reds have dominated that series all season, so it's not like we, had to let you get at least 1. So.
The highlight was watching Ellie De La Cruz get picked off third base. That was beautiful.
I didn't get to watch. I was podcasting, so I didn't get to watch a single second of the game. NFL too. I know a couple of big contract extensions. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do them in tidbits?
No, we can do them now. DJ Moore signed a 4-year, $110 million contract extension, which is the largest in franchise history and also third for a wide receiver on a single contract in NFL history. Jordan Love also got his precious contract extension from the Green Bay Packers, 4 years, $220 million. That puts him in a tie for the highest paid player in NFL history. Explain to me, somebody else, because I'm too biased, explain to me why a guy who's had 8 good games gets the most money of any NFL player in the world. I need somebody who is not biased to explain to me why this is a good deal for Green Bay.
Better than any quarterback the Bears have probably ever had.
That's not. I don't care about that. We're not talking about Chicago. I know where we stand. I know where we stand.
Well, sorry. I know. I can't say crap about the Bears quarterback because I know Paul's a big fan. So I don't want to. I don't want to.
Also, you guys finally have a decent quarterback for the first time in franchise history. What are you talking about?
The Bengals? Bengals have had multiple great quarterbacks. Ken Anderson, who should be in the Hall of Fame. Boomer Esiason. Carson Palmer wasn't bad. Andy Dalton even.
There's the Red Rifle reference I was waiting for.
I mean, listen, Andy Dalton, he won some games for the Bears. So I think it'll be interesting. Who would you rather have fantasy-wise? Saquon, Najee Harris, and Jackson Smith and Jigba? Well, Paul, I have a rule that I've been doing fantasy football for probably about 15 years. And I have not once, never, had a Steeler on my team. Not once.
I don't like Saquon Barkley though.
So and see, Paul's bringing up John Kitna because he knows I don't like John Kitna because of the story I told a couple of weeks ago. I'm taking Saquon just because I don't refuse to have Najee Harris on my team.
Yeah.
Because I would rather lose my fantasy team than that team have any semblance of success. You ready for who am I here?
Yes, let's go.
I played 20 years in MLB for 7 teams. I played 20 years in the MLB for 7 teams. No, that doesn't give it away. Gosh, I thought that was going to be the one that gave it to you. I originally only hit right-handed, but taught myself to hit left-handed after my first year in the minors.
I would, Paul.
I originally only hit right-handed, but taught myself to hit left-handed after my first year in the minors. I never played AAA baseball.
Oh.
I never played a game in AAA. Number 4.
Andres Galarraga.
It's not a bad guess, but it's incorrect. I made the final out at Old Tiger Stadium. I made the final out at Old Tiger Stadium. This gives you an era there. So do you know what year Old Tiger Stadium would have ended?
Would have been 96, 97.
I think it was 98. So
yeah,
you are in the right fam. Not Cecil Fielder. Not a bad guess though.
Yeah, I don't think Cecil played for 7 teams.
I was the first switch hitter to have 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases. No, it is not Nolan Ryan. I was the first switch hitter to have 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases. And Paul Reeves is the winner of Who Am I Today?
Wow, Beltran.
Carlos Beltran. The next clue was going to be, I am tied for the most home runs in a single postseason with 8. Would you have gotten on that?
No, I don't think any of these that you would have given me. I was not even thinking in that direction of Beltran.
And then the final one, I was giving you 7 today. I was hired to be a manager, but never managed a game.
What happened?
He was in the middle of the sign stealing scandal.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Crazy.
He was known as the mastermind. Was kind of as to what had happened behind it, because he had been hired by the Mets.
Oh my goodness.
He got fired.
Yeah. Before he even
managed a game.
Yeah.
Just
crazy.
7
crazy.
teams.
Love it. Love it.
7 teams. Carlos Beltran.
That was a good one today, Sam. That was a good one.
Alrighty, you have some tidbits, don't you? Including one that I sent you.
I do.
I don't know if you're putting it on there.
We got some stuff to talk about here tonight. Jackson Holliday finally hit his first home run, landing on the, I don't remember what the street is called. They do something really cool in Baltimore where the road that's between the warehouse and right field, if the ball hits right there, they mark it and they write the player's name where they hit the home run at, and they have the players sign it, and then they engrave it into the ground. So you can have your autograph right on there where the ball hits, which I think is really, really cool. But Jackson Holliday's first home run was a grand slam. Good for him. Good for him to be able to do that. He talks about 8 gold medals for Katie Ledecky. What an insane talent. White Sox again lost 17 straight and look to they are going to break the modern record for most losses in a season, which is insane. I think Detroit Tigers hold that record right now for current modern day. The Cleveland Spiders held the record from old school, but Detroit Tigers hold it for now. Kate Williams is not playing in the NFL Hall of Fame game tomorrow, which apparently everybody threw a fit about, which I don't understand, because I don't know why you would have your starting quarterback playing a game that nobody cares about, especially when you're playing the Texans. Well, I watch, yeah.
Would you watch if it was Texans Chargers?
Nope. I'll only watch it because
it's the Bears.
And both coaches have said none of their stars will play in it. So it's going to be an awful game. But it's football, so I'll watch because the Bears are in it. But the thing is, I know he's been awful, but it was nice to see him crank. But again, it seemed like everybody was throwing a fit about it. Look, the Bears play the Texans in week 2 in real life. Why would they give up anything that they're actually doing?
That's right.
Plus,
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together there. Yeah.
If those stars get hurt in a Hall of Fame nobody cares game, the media would lose their mind. So I get him not playing starters. And finally, I lost what I was saying. Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you we didn't really talk about it. We did kind of, but what do you think about this Garrett Crochet trade deadline stuff? Have you heard about what he wanted?
I've been so busy that I haven't even seen it.
Okay, so Crochet is the American League leader in strikeouts and F4, but he wanted a contract extension before he would pitch in the postseason, and said he did not want to pitch out the bullpen, preferring a starter's routine, and said the teams can't give me that. I will not play for them. I'll just sit on the bench and I won't play. Well, and a lot of the fans were like upset by it. Is this something that we're going to start seeing here in the future? Is this the start of something weird where these players are like, oh, I'm not going to go to this team? If I didn't think players really had a whole lot of control when it came to the trade deadline.
I mean, no trade. It's pretty much a no trade clause without having a no trade clause.
Yeah. Apparently, from what Crochet has said, his manager is in full support of him with wanting what he wanted. But I don't know why you wouldn't want out of Chicago. That's the big question that I have is, if you had a chance to go to the Dodgers or go somewhere else, I don't understand why you wouldn't want a chance at doing that. That's just because the White Sox don't look like they're in any position to be good in the next 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be one thing if they were like a average team, and then they were, we're just 1 or 2 players away.
Listen, play here, pitch here, play. I mean, they might be in the wild card race. I mean, they're just like one good game away from that, or 2 months. Best team in Chicago.
The White Sox are 27-84. They are 40 games out of first place. They have won 10 games on the road. 10. The next closest team to them is the Athletics, who are 45-64. The Athletics, who, mind you, are only 11 games out of first place in the American League West.
Speaking of them, too, I like the MLB schedules came out, 2 or 3 weeks ago for next year?
Yeah.
And I like that the Reds on the schedule just is ATH. Every other city, it was, CHC, TX, MIN, ATL. Nope, it's just ATH because we don't know where we're going to play the Athletics.
Yeah, the Rockies are 38-70, which means that they are still 11 games ahead of the White Sox. I can't remember a team that I've seen this bad in a long time. Just historically bad.
You honestly might have to go back to some of those like Astros teams from about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, I remember some of I remember that Tigers team that was awful. I remember that Tigers team that was even brutal. But even, listen, you and I have both sat through some horrible Reds, horrible Cubs seasons. We both have. The Cubs started off the year losing 14 straight. I've been through horrible seasons. But my goodness, these games aren't even competitive.
No.
And that's the thing. Like, if they're at least, there's a certain amount of luck when it comes to baseball. There really is. But I'm telling you, it's putrid. I can't even think of a better word to describe it. It is awful, awful baseball.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Without question. Are those your tidbits?
That was all I had. Yep, that's it.
You know what it's time for, right? It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Leroy's Logos.
That's true.
4 throwback logos here for this week. Leroy's just got to tell me what school it's from. Last week, if you remember.
Oh, I remember.
He got the first 3. We thought history was about to be made and choked. Paul Reeves, though, did get 4 out of 4. I think I got a nice balance this week. Nice balance this week. There is a shot you can go 4 out of 4. Would you like door number 1, 2, 3, or 4 to open up this week?
I think the hardest one first, sir. No, I'm just kidding. 2. 2 is fine.
2. Well, yeah, I don't know which one you went there. Throwback logo. This is the late 90s. Honestly, all of these are relatively modern. Is there a tiger this week? No, there's no tiger this week.
So many tigers.
Alrighty, door number 2 here. Oh, I forgot to give you your average right now as well. You are hitting 396. So you're moving up. Alrighty, a couple of the answers have come in to the comment section. How are you feeling? You want to talk it through?
I'm nervous.
Knees weak, arms heavy.
I'm thinking Villanova, but I can't remember what their team is.
Okay.
But I can't think of any other V schools. Vanderbilt, the Commodores.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Villanova.
Villanova, is that your final answer?
Yeah.
How does this make you feel?
That's John. I don't know.
We tell you to trust your gut. Correct. Villanova. The late 90s. Okay, so Leroy's 1 for 1. Today.
I like that logo.
1 for 1. Logo. I think you might do it. This one might have been the hardest one, I think. So this might be the week. 1, 3, or 4.
Let's go 4. Stop doing that. I hate when you do that. You psych me out.
This is the 70s to the 90s. Also, I can throw up here from that one last time. Wow, is that Nova? Villanova. Their team is the New York Knicks. Oh, nope. I don't want to throw. Okay, good. I didn't end up throwing something up on the screen there.
The easy answer is Duke, but DePaul?
Would I do that?
I yes.
Because I want to get in your head. What are you thinking?
What year did you say this is from?
This is between the 70s to the 90s.
Was it their alternate?
No,
or is this their, like,
I think this might have been a basketball-themed one because you can see the net.
Yeah,
but I believe this guy was their...
Yeah.
Alrighty, what are you thinking? The comments section, they're all over the place.
Is it split?
They're all on one side, but now they're kind of going, oh, wait. I don't know.
Maybe see, I thought, like I said, I thought it was Duke, but DePaul has a very similar...
Okay, what are you thinking?
I'll go with Duke.
Is that going to be your final answer?
Yes.
It is DePaul. Everyone, though, was thinking the same thing as you.
You heard me say it, though. You heard me say DePaul.
I did.
I know I said Duke was my final answer, but I at least was in the ballpark.
You were. That's only good in hand grenades and...
Oh, shut up.
1 or 3? 80s. 80s for this one. Oh, I got to mark this here. So you got Villanova. Okay. Comments are coming through. You got any thoughts on this one here?
Xavier?
Xavier's what you're thinking?
Yeah, but trying to think Virginia and some of the other schools on the east. Pirates, Buccaneers, Pirates. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Xavier.
Xavier. Does this make you feel better or not?
Which, by the way, I'm not gonna lie. Up until I was about 35, I thought it was Xavier. So there you go.
Yeah, it's just.
I know. Xavier. I'm just telling you.
Incorrect. This one is Seton Hall.
Oh, Seton Hall.
The Seton Hall Pirates there. And the last one, which I think I don't know what I'm being with it. The last one for this week's Leroy's Logos. This one is from the 2000s. From the 2000s.
Is Patrick Ewing still their coach? Did he get fired?
Yeah, I'm unsure as to what school you might be talking about. I was very nice to you.
I know. I appreciate you leaving the G up there, although I still think I would have got it if you blurted it out.
Alrighty, so what's your guess?
I will go with Georgetown, sir. Georgetown Hoyas.
That is correct. And no, Patrick Ewing is not their coach anymore.
Did he only last the 1 year, or was he there?
No, he was there probably Caleb, 4 or 5 years? He was probably the head coach, but he was awful.
I got irritated because they played Northwestern 1 year, and they kept showing him on the sideline. And I remember joking on Twitter, like, take a shot every time they show Ewing on the screen. And somebody commented back and said, no, I'd rather keep my sanity. Mm-hmm. They showed him, I'm telling you, they showed him like every 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think he might have lasted like 4 years. Their new coach, though, is the guy who was at Providence, and now his name is escaping me. Oh, my. What is his name? I can see his face right now. How do I not remember his name? Georgetown basketball. It is Ed Cooley. Ed Cooley is their coach now. How about a little bit of play clock here? We got 40 seconds to answer a question that the other person doesn't need to know or doesn't need. Well, they do need to know. They don't know. They don't need to know. They don't need to know until right now. We're going to ask them the question. Would you like to ask or answer? Oh, wait, I forgot to give you your updated average, too. You probably would like that. You are now hitting 398. 398.
That's a Ted Williams line right there, my friend.
Okay. Ask or answer.
I will ask first, and I want to preface this by saying I already know, I think, how you're going to respond. Unfortunately, I saw this argument on Twitter today, and I about blew my top off because I couldn't believe it was being asked. Which would you rather have?
1 second here. Paul is correct. They were all Big East teams, which, if you would have guessed to Paul last, I don't know if you'd have been able to figure out that there was an indirect theme that wasn't actually a theme for points, but they were all Big East teams. Okay, go on.
Good deal, Paul. All right. So again, let me preface this by saying this is a stupid question, and I apologize ahead of time for asking it. Okay. Which would you rather have on your team? Someone hustling down to first, but throwing his batting gloves and helmet and bat in disgust when he's stressed out or gets beat on a throw, stuff like that. Or would you rather have somebody not hustling, but is very polite and very well mannered and doesn't? I'm telling you, I get where this lady was coming from, but like, do you have an issue with people throwing their batting helmets when they get and batting gloves when they get out at first? That's the bottom line. That's the question.
I don't care. I mean, if he's hustling down the line and it happens, I don't care. It was just like in our Reds group, they were really mad because Noelvi Marte came up for the Reds and after his suspension, and he wears a yellow yellow arm pad, to block his elbow pad. And because yellow is the color of the Dominican where he's from.
Yeah.
So he's representing his home. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Also.
Well, he should be wearing red. And I'm just like, I don't let them do whatever the hell they want. Like, I don't really care. Let them run down there, do whatever they want. I just don't care.
Pete Crow Armstrong got out on a gorgeous play from your shortstop. He swung all the way around, was almost falling over, and was able to get it over to first. Straight out.
Ellie made it. Yeah, and Ellie made a great play. Yep.
Yeah, beat PCA by about a half a step, and PCA was hustling down the line, took his helmet off, took his batting gloves off, threw him on the ground, and stormed off, and was upset. And Twitter lost its mind.
I will say, I'm only okay with that if it's the last out of the inning.
Okay.
Not like if there's one out and you're having to have the poor bat guy and they're having to stop the game because of that. That's when it's a little bit. But isn't he a little bit of a what's like?
I will say he's an immature hothead.
I was gonna say, isn't he? I was gonna say punkish.
He is a little bit. Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, I would agree with you. He is a little. But again, was he like 22? And I'm not saying like that's an excuse. I'm just saying like, I mean, he's a kid.
I mean, Caleb brings up a good point though. In youth sports, head cases always belong on the bench. When grown men do it, it's fine.
See? That's why I asked. I'm telling you, Twitter argued for quite a while today about it.
Twitter will argue about anything.
That is true.
Anything. I'm gonna very basic, simple, straightforward question for you here. How good would Babe Ruth be today?
I still think Babe Ruth would be a dominant force today, given today's trainers, given today's exercise and what they have going on. Look, Babe Ruth played along with a bunch of scrubs, but let's face it, Babe Ruth still could hit the ball a long way. And if you had him training the way that they train today and the way that they do it, you can't take away pure talent. And Babe Ruth had pure talent. So I still think that even today, Babe Ruth would have been an amazing hitter. But again, yeah.
Would he be able to hit the pitching though?
Again, he's living now. It's not like I'm bringing him back to. It's not like I'm waking him up right now and bringing him. If I woke him up right now and brought him in, he wouldn't be able to. He wouldn't be able to hit at all.
So you're saying he would need some time, but after he got used to it, you think he'd be good?
Yeah. If Babe Ruth was born in 2001, if Babe Ruth was born in 2001, and they were like, yes, this is Babe Ruth reincarnated or whatever, and he came up through the system, I have no doubt that he would be fantastic.
And just to remind you though, if he was born in 2001, he would almost be in his mid-20s. Just to let you know.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I know. I work with coworkers. None of my coworkers were alive when 9/11 happened.
Yeah, see, I was alive when 9/11 happened. I was alive when 9/11.
None of my two other programmers were alive when 9/11 happened.
Child. Okay, I'm ready to answer.
All right. So we're gonna talk Olympics now. And you asked last week what would be the easiest sport to get into, to be able to do. What
sport could you medal in?
Right. What sport could you medal in? So my question to you is, which sport would be, do you think would be the hardest to medal in?
Yes. You're saying me? Yes. Yeah. All of them. I mean, water polo, like that is, you got to think like Katie Ledecky. Swimming is so unbelievably difficult. Gymnastics is a sport, and I should have brought this up earlier. I love it because I don't really understand it. In fact, I don't just not really understand it. I don't understand it at all. Like they'll do something, and I'll be like, "Wow, that was incredible," and they'll be like, 4. I'm like, what? And then somebody else will do something. I'm like, oh, nope. And then 9. I'm like, what? How? So I don't understand it. So all of them, really. All of it.
She's 4 foot. She's 4'8", and she can jump 12 feet in the air.
I would die.
12 feet.
I'm
lucky. I'm lucky if I can jump 6 inches.
Let's see it. I don't think you could jump 6 inches in the air right now without tearing something.
I will tear. I will tear something. I'm telling you right now. Let's see. This will be horrible.
We can't see the ground though.
Well, okay. Well, let's. I mean,
you're about to knock off your snowflake if you continue.
I know. I hit my head on the.
Yeah, if I did gymnastics, just watching it on the balance beam to me is the wildest thing. Like, I don't know, like with my balance that I could literally get on that right now and just walk on. Yeah. Paul says 1 inch on that vertical.
Shut
up. Caleb, I saw his tummy. Oh, okay. Leroy, I've got a big question for you here on this last one. Because it's one that I don't know the answer to, but I feel like you are the person to answer it.
Okay.
You know the movie / folklore or something like that. I don't know how to describe it. Pinocchio, right? You know Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Pinocchio. If Pinocchio said, "My nose is about to grow," what would happen?
He was lying. Did I miss the question?
If Pinocchio said, "My nose is about to grow," what would happen?
He was lying and his nose would shoot way out.
But then he would be telling the truth.
Oh, see, I was trying to figure out where you were going with that.
I'll restart your time.
Start that over again, because I was trying to figure out where you were going with that. Oh, Sam. As a friend of ours would say, "Oh, Sam it."
Your time doesn't want to work here. Okay, now
that's
it's fine.
Going.
So you ended up getting more time. Okay.
Oh, Sam it. That's interesting. So it would grow and then stop, right? Like it would grow and then shrink, all in the span of milliseconds of each other. So I don't know. That's one of those.
But it only grows if he's lying. So if he was lying, then it wouldn't grow.
Yeah, when a tree falls in the woods, does it make noise? I'm just saying, this is one of those. I don't think there's a right answer.
I saw that.
Is a fish underwater wet? That's the other good one. Is a fish underwater wet?
I saw this question. I was like, what? And then I was like, wait, what?
And see that I didn't figure out until we got to the 15-second mark on the 40 seconds. I was like, oh.
Yeah, because if he tells a lie, his nose will grow. But if he says he's a duck's butt watertight.
Watertight.
Is water wet, Leroy?
Yes.
Does a tree?
But in the words of Paul Reeves, I'm not dying on that hill.
Yes, you are. You die on a lot of hills. There's no question about that. I know too that Leroy and I had a little bit of a discussion, and we can at least mention this right now. We can produce on here, right? About the pick contest, and I think the best
and what we want to do. What we want to do this fall.
So the pick contest will start here. When is your first football game? Do we have the first?
It is 23. Yeah, and I think it's the last weekend of. I think it's the last weekend of August. I think we start after you guys.
Okay, so you start on the 30th. But how can water be wet when water makes things wet?
John, stop it.
You need to go to bed, John. But August 30th. Our first game's at Richland County. Okay.
Our home against Richland County.
That means it's the week before, August the 23rd. So the show on August the 21st, we will restart the pick contest. And the first game we get to pick is Grayson County, Edmonson County. how we are going to do this is we are going to do the same thing where Leroy and I get a pick like we did last year, but we are going to open it up to, I like on Sunday Night Football where they do the nation's pick, where they have, all of the quote unquote experts make their pick and then they have America's pick. So what we're going to have is those that are watching that day will comment who they think will win the game that we're doing. So if it's the Bengals against the Bears, and 3 of you in the comments say the Bears and 1 of you picks the Bengals, then you all, the comment section, will be picking the Bears for that game. So it is whoever is watching that game. Now, one of the things that Leroy and I will have to discuss, and I'm open to if the comment section, if you all have any semblance of suggestions when it comes to this, is if there's a tie. And I don't know if you have one, Leroy. So if it's Bengals, Bears, and 2 people pick Bengals and 2 people pick Bears, what do we do if that happens? Do you have any suggestions for that?
Flip a coin. Yep.
And that works. I guess we'll just have a coin ready, or we'll figure out something. Or I'll do like number underneath, and you pick 1 or 2, and whatever one it is, we can do that. What we'll do though is, since we don't pick the other person's, so we don't pick our own games. So I won't pick any Grayson County games, and Leroy won't pick any Taylorville games. We will rotate every other week which game, quote unquote, America will get to pick. So like week 1, you all will pick Grayson County, Edmonson County. Take the majority if we pick the same team, if not a coin flip. Are you fine with that? So if we both pick the Bengals, then we go with that. And okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that. So that means that game 1, Leroy and America will pick Grayson County, Edmonson County. And that'll come up here in 3 weeks. We'll pick that game. And then the week after that, you all will pick Taylorville against Richland County. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And then the week after that, you'll be back to Grayson, and then it just rotates from there on out. We'll try something out. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll fail. Who knows? On trying to keep you all involved, because I've enjoyed that with the NASCAR pick contest. And whoever wins gets bragging rights, I guess. But and then I think too, we didn't talk about this either, but we're going to do, I think, as well for each of us, 3 questions week 1, 2 questions week 2, 1 question week 3, like we did last year.
Correct. Yep.
And I like that, even though that we've learned a little bit more about the Cougs than in the Tornadoes.
Yeah.
Have you done
when your coach doesn't want to talk to you, it makes it hard to be able to find that information.
That was my old coach. Our new coach, we had a big media day on Monday.
I don't know what that is.
So I had to drive to Owensboro for it. So it was about an hour drive. So it's not that bad. But some of our friends put it together in the business. And it was cool because all of the teams in this area were there. So I think out of the 10 teams Grayson County scheduled to play, I think I got to hear from 4 of them. So that was kind of helpful that I got to take some notes on that. And it was interesting. Edmonson County was on right before, Jason's right. Coach Smart went to Illinois. That was our old coach that didn't necessarily like the media.
That's me, Mario.
Now, your coach, it's the media. So Jason's going to the Cougs every time. I like that, Jason. Roll with them all season long. Last year, it would have helped you out a lot. I don't know about this year. Paul says to give him his number, and I'll call him, put the fear in him. If he doesn't talk to Leroy, his ass is fired next year.
His son is the quarterback, if that tells you anything about this coach.
But his son actually is okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's grown a whole lot. He played as a sophomore. There were questions about, there was a better quarterback at the time that he started because he was his son. But he's taken those 2 years and really kind of actually become somewhat decent. I just don't think he's got anybody to throw it to.
See, I love our coach. So Grayson County's coach, he just had a son, his first son. He has 3 daughters. He has his first son back in March. So I'm just waiting for 15 years from now when I'm probably 6 feet under. But his son.
You're still at Grayson County calling football.
You know what I've told you if that happens.
I know.
Told you that. But that happens. But still, it's kind of. I'll have the coach's son there when it comes to that, because that'll be the first. Yeah, that'll be the first coach's son I think I've broadcast since I've been here. Paul says him and Leroy will be dead, but not you. So in 15 years, how old would you be?
I'll be 56.
God. I'd be 42.
My man.
Oh my goodness, I'll be old.
I can't wait.
When I'll be 42.
You're gonna call me up and be like, Leroy, I hurt. I'm like, shut up.
I already hurt most mornings. Paul will be 58. 58 years young. We appreciate you always watching, Jason, too. It's kind of here. Yeah. Which one of us will be two knee replacements deep at that point, Caleb? Both of us?
Well, seeing as how I will literally be having surgery next month, like, yeah, I'm right on track. I'm right on schedule.
When is your surgery again?
It's not scheduled. I meet with the ortho surgeon on August 29th to schedule it.
That's right.
So
my guess probably be like end of September.
My guess is middle of September, which is hysterical because that means that I'll have to have a driver take me for football. And I was joking that sounds like a perfect job for Christy to drive me to these football games. She'd be miserable.
She's gonna love that.
I know, that's what I said, because Bailey has to work it.
Oh, is he working in the station?
The radio station hired him to help out because their hours are so awful. Bailey's the only one that can work those hours. So he'll be here in case there's problems.
That here's my request. Do you accept your request?
Yes.
This whatever week that happens, our show needs to start right when you get on the laughing gas.
Okay.
And we need to go live until you knock out. So if the podcast is 10 minutes that week, or right after you're done.
I'm horrible at those, and I'll tell you, have you had surgery before?
I've had wisdom teeth out.
Yeah, so they do the countdown, right? Where you're like, countdown from 100. Uh-huh. I get to like 97.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember with my wisdom teeth, I think it was countdown from 10, and I think I made it to 6. And next thing I knew, I remember like being on the bed, like in the post-op room. And I remember because I have this memory, my dad confirmed it, is I just continuously asked him what time it was. It's like, what time is it? And he told me, it's 9:15. And then, 5 seconds later, Dad, what time is it? Just like, and finally he's like, shut up. Like, just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
I vividly remember Christy telling me to shut up multiple times in that room. Leroy, for the love of God, shut up.
Christy, if you're still watching, you need to record, send it to me, and we will post it on the From the Pressbox Facebook page of you high on whatever you'll be on. You'll be feeling really good. There's no question.
Yeah.
That's
just not looking forward to wearing a sling for 6 weeks.
Is it your left or your right?
Luckily it's my right.
That's right. You're left-handed.
So luckily it's my right. But I mean, I'm a news director, right? I told Christy, I said, I'm gonna have to dictate you to write these stories because I'm like trying to figure out how I'm gonna like
peck.
Yeah. It's gonna drive me nuts. I already know it. I'm gonna be so irritated.
And what is the recovery time on that then?
They said 6 to 8, but like it could be up to 6 months with rehab and everything.
Because I know my dad had very similar surgery. Jason, we're not planning on. I think we'll be there during basketball season, but we were there last year for football season. Burt's Rivertown Grill, though, that sounds pretty good in Cloverport.
Paul said he was out of his gallbladder surgery in 2 seconds. I bet it felt like 2 seconds. In out like that.
Oh, gone, knocked out. Well, I wonder if you'll be able to do the pod then. We might have to take like a week off or something.
We'll see. Or I can just do it super high.
I think that's what the people want.
That's what the people want.
Oh,
let me tell you, man. I have seen
comment section. Yes or no? Do you want Leroy high on whatever meds he's taking on a podcast when he has his surgery? Just comment yes or no in the comment section right now. And I am guessing it is going to be unanimous.
Unanimous yeses.
Paul wants you from the hospital. Yeah, from the hospital instead of from the press box.
Change the name temporarily.
We could do that. I can maybe even update our logo and put like a mask on it. John says he wants hi, Leroy. That's what the people want. Leroy about to be that Labrador from Cheech and Chong.
Am I smoking Labrador?
He's high on beer every episode, so yes. Chase says yes. Listen, it's unanimous. It's unanimous, so we got to do it. It's either that or Christy's going to do the Christy's going to do the show, so she's going to have to do everything else for you. So, and I'm sure she would love to host a sports podcast with me.
Yeah. If you're ready for like, I don't even know what she would like. She would talk about.
Could she talk about the Olympics? Does she care?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The WNBA.
Yep. Yep. IndyCar driver Santino Ferrucci. Okay. And the WNBA though, she'd talk for 20, 25 minutes about that.
Big Angel Reese fan, right? She doesn't like Caitlin Clark. I know that. And if you're wondering too, NASCAR doesn't come back for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so all of racing, other than like small tracks, all of racing is shut down right now. F1 always takes their vacation in August anyway. IndyCar and NASCAR are off until after it's done.
2 hours of Santino, my goodness.
I'm telling you.
He could pop on this podcast right now. And I think even if he put his name as Santino down there, I wouldn't know who. Like you literally could just pull some random person.
I've shown you pictures of him.
Yeah, that doesn't mean
he's been in our Guess the Driver.
But if you just had some random person put up there and said Santino, this is Santino Ferrucci.
Yeah.
Chase is the only one who would know you were faking. Paul and I would be like, yeah, that makes sense. Sure. Why does Christy like him?
I don't know. That's just who she fell in love with.
What is his hair? What is that hair? Caleb says he would go to Santino Morelli from the WWE. What is up with his hair, though? My goodness. That's my first impression of him. I mean, like, what is that?
Okay. Paul, I wanted to buy Christy a Caitlin Clark jersey. They do not have one in her size. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Can you not buy her a sweatshirt at least?
She doesn't want a sweatshirt. She wants the jersey.
Have you been to DHgate?
I will talk to you after the show is off the air.
DHgate. That's a good way to go. I've gotten jerseys off there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they look a little bit fake, but hey, what's that? Next week, though, on the show, I don't know what we might have to talk about. We're getting closer to the NFL. College football is coming quick. And then, we're going to have to USA women's basketball in the Olympics 55-0 against Caitlin Clark 0-1. We're going to have to break down everything about Illinois and Kentucky high school football in a couple of weeks. I mean, we're going to dive all the way into all of the aspects of it because I know people really care that watch this show, but we care, and that's what matters.
We do.
Not really, but we have to fake that we care. But we look forward to it. Do you have anything else that you wanted to chat about? We've got a nice crew that's watching, so we can keep going.
I know
if you want,
we got some decent numbers. I see we have about 5-6 people watching, which is decent.
We just got to 6.
Whoa.
6 people.
No, you know what? I really every year I really like watching the Olympics, or every 4 years I like watching the Olympics, because I tell you what, it really shows just how much work those kids put into it and you see the pride that they have for their country, for their teammates, and for the work that they do. It's very awesome. Yeah, fantasy football right around the corner.
How many leagues you got?
I've cut down. I've got. I'm down to 3.
I got to coach Boyle County baseball head coach's son, and he probably thought you were a clown. Yeah, he might have thought you were a clown, Chase, because of the text message that I received. Chase was channeling his inner Morris what's his name from Bad News Bears? He was channeling his inner Morris Buttersworth. Is that his name?
I don't remember.
Where I think he was pounding Miller on the sideline while coaching his summer ball team. John asked
Winter.
Spring?
Well, the thing is, I know I'm in the minority when I say that. I know most people like summer, but I like winter.
I'd probably take summer just because I hate snow. I hate snow. I just hate it. So now that I realize that I can no longer get a snow day.
Yeah.
Sunday morning wasn't great. I had some regrets. Remember those days?
Yes, I do. So much so. Oh my goodness.
Paul has 9 fantasy leagues.
My gosh.
It's all I can do to do the one that I've been in.
I struggle with the 3 that I'm in.
So I have begun a online dynasty on the new college football game.
Oh, yes. How is that going?
So we haven't started it yet, but they made a rule that we could create a team, but if we picked a real team, it had to be under 75 overall.
Okay.
So I created a team, and we're the Florence Freedom. Shout out to the former minor league baseball team. Listen, our jerseys are they're awesome. They're awesome. Couldn't throw a strike during my 7 a.m. BP. Congo didn't connect very often. Oh, John said he meant Olympics, not season. Summer Olympics for sure. And you like
winter. Winter, yep.
But so my team, I was playing with them. We are so bad, Leroy. Like, I'm gonna go 0-12. My quarterback is not bad. Caleb, my helmets are the water tower. In fact, let me see if I can pull up my helmets here. Because it is, let me see if this will work. I'm going to crash my computer, or this is going to work. Or maybe both. Am I still here, or is it bad?
No, you're still here.
Okay.
But if you go bye-bye, we riot.
Well, it was only time, right? Let's see. Is this going to let me do it or not? Oh, it's just going to take. Why are you taking so long? Okay. Let's see how long it'll take for it to load here. So I've made the Florence. So if you don't know, Florence, the town that I'm from, is known for their water tower. And it says on there, I think I said something about drinking, and the next morning, a few weeks back. Oh, yeah. It happens. Okay, here it is. So those are our road uniforms. And I can't zoom in, but if you see, the helmets have the water tower.
He does have the water tower on there.
And of course, I made a red field. Because
that's
why not?
Fantastic. You are blurry, I will tell you that.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad because I'm trying to make it do more than I need to. See, thank you, Caleb. You have taste. Paul, field makes me sick. No one asked you.
Bagel.
It's awesome.
Somebody in our college football Facebook group said that they thought WKU had a red field, and they were like, "Yeah, I've been there. They have a red field." I'm like, "No, they do not." They're like, "How would you know?" I'm like, "I literally went to school there, you jerks." Isn't it Washington? Doesn't Eastern Washington have a red field?
Look at you. Look at you go. Good job there. It's supposed to be green. Boise State is worse. I mean, Coastal Carolina has teal. Central Arkansas has purple and gray. Eastern Michigan, theirs is gray. There was something you were saying that I was going to make a comment. Oh, did you see Ellie De La Cruz's sliding mitt yesterday?
I did not.
It was a big red sliding mitt.
Was it?
Yes. A big red sliding mitt Ellie De La Cruz was wearing, which is
awesome.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
How awesome.
That it was going. Apparently, he likes to have a different one every single game because when you're Ellie De La Cruz, you can afford that.
Yeah. Northwestern's new football field is coming along just nicely. They've thrown in a ton of with the movable bleachers. They've rolled in a ton of the movable bleachers in there and everything. And the press box looks a little bit better than our high school ones. So
are you going to get to go to a game?
We're the Big Ten doing Big Ten things. Good job, guys.
Are you going to get to go to a game?
I am trying to. They play EIU this year, and EIU's only like an hour east of me. I was really, really hoping that game was away so I could go to it because EIU's got a somewhat decent field. It'd be nice to be able to go a little bit closer. Nothing against Chicago. It's just that's a 3.5 hour ride, you know. But I am hoping to hopefully get to a game this year.
Because you've never been, right?
I have not. I never got to go to inside Ryan Field. I never got to go inside it. I was outside twice, but
because the only time you saw Northwestern play was when they robbed Kentucky.
I've seen Northwestern play on the road.
Football, okay,
4 times.
It was,
but their best game was when they destroyed UK and UK.
No, because they threw out our best player for touching the ref when the ref asked to help him. I still can't believe that.
So easy.
And it was so cold that
So
day.
easy.
Remember that? It was cold.
Oh, so cold.
And you had to leave early for some reason. I don't remember as to why.
Did I?
You did, because you had to leave in. So Benny Snell got ejected in like the first, who was Kentucky's best player, got ejected in like the first quarter. No, because he quote unquote made contact with the ref. And it was literally like the ref was trying to help him up, and he like smacked his hand like, "I don't need your help," and the ref ejected him. It was just kind of like really, like this is what we're doing. But it was cold at the Music City.
I'm trying to remember why I had to leave early. Because I have a general rule. I don't leave early.
Correct.
From
especially that.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe did you have to go like to Michigan or something, or because you got to think that this was right after Christmas.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll have to check and see what that was.
Yes, because I'm pretty sure.
It doesn't matter if it's 40-0, if it's 12-0 in a baseball game. I generally don't leave. I think I've only left like 2 or 3 sporting events early ever in my life.
And now we are in the industry where we can't leave early. Because trust me, there have been games I've wanted.
There have been games where we have wanted to leave early. Let me tell you. Ooh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Alrighty. I think we've gone on long enough rambling.
Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. We're looking forward to next weekend and being able to really get into the nuts and bolts of this next football season, and looking forward to talking more Olympics, and hopefully we'll have some more news going on about what's going on in around the world. So, and we'll see if the White Sox can figure out how to win a game.
Bold. Bold. See you next week.